The 2013 Natpe Brandon Tartikoff Legacy Awards.
How appropriate that this very convention is being held in the infamous frontier town of San Francisco, a place proud to have been founded by miners and whores. Now, I've been coming to Natpe since the late 70s. And at varying times, I've been both of those professions.
The Brandon Tartikoff Legacy Awards are special because no one was more special than Brandon Tartikoff.
He was a showman, he was a mensch, and he served as a role model for an entire generation of executives to follow.
He was so passionate, so innovative, so forward-thinking.
Brandon was a teacher of mine and a mentor of mine.
So many times in my career, when I was in desperate trouble and when I really needed a friend, Brandon was that friend.
I guess, when everyone talks about Brandon, it's just kind of a name that's now synonymous with quality.
He was definitely involved in some of my very favorite shows. I was a huge Cheers fan, and I know that he was a really big supporter of that show, and I know all the stories about how he stuck with that when they needed the help from the network.
Brandon was a role model for me. I admire what he did at NBC. He seemed to love telling great stories.
Manimal, great new show on NBC. Turns into a panther before your very eyes.
Brandon Tartikoff was legendary for his programming skills. Everything in television that really works has to do with a great grasp of knowing how to program.
We'll begin today's meeting with the NBC Programmer's Pledge. Place your right hand over where your hearts used to be.
I always loved the anecdote about Brandon creating Miami Vice by telling people he wanted MTV cops, which is cops with music.
I also had pieces of paper that said MTV Detective. I also had a piece of paper that said MTV Apartment 3G.
He was the consummate programmer, but more importantly, he loved the medium like I think no other network executive has ever loved the medium. And that's why our award winners so represent the spirit of Brandon Tartikoff.
For that name to be associated with my name is the greatest honor I've received so far.
Awards from your peers I take a little more seriously than popularity contests from the public, and I'm pleased and honored to receive it.
This award is validation that BET Networks has really come a long way in terms of our programming.
Brandon was a person who stood for quality and for what he thought was right. For me to even be mentioned in the same breath is quite an honor.
If you were a part of Brandon's world, or you were a part of his life, if you were a part of his journey, if you had those special Brandon moments, you have them forever.
This year, television is about to enter a new frontier. To be ready to join this brave new world, we've got to get brave.
From what I know about Brandon, I think he would be in the forefront. He would be trying to figure out what programming sells best on what devices.
Brandon was smart and forward-thinking, and I think he would have been part of these questions that we're all wrestling with right now.
For me, unexpected events are catnip. They are the substance and excitement of television. I thrive on the unexpected.
The new opportunities are the new players, and altogether, if you can still make it work, it should be a pretty good ride.
Steve Levitan, John Langley, Debra and Herbert Kloiber. They represent the heart and soul of Brandon Tartikoff, and we couldn't be more proud.
Sponsored by RBC Capital Markets, Broadcasting and Cable Multi-Channel News, NBC Universal, and 20th Television.